Hi guys, it's Giselle Alvarez from Loyalty Pet Products and our shop Poodle Boutique. This is Ellie, our model for today. Say hi, Ellie. She's like, really?
And while we wait for some people to show up real quick, this is Riker. Hey Riker. Say hi to everybody.
Say hi.
Say hi. Say hi. Oh, he's waving. We're kind of matching today. And now he's trying. I'm going to show you the shop real quick. So the customers enter in here. Hold on. Again, we're just kind of waiting until some people get on live because I know Facebook takes a couple minutes to alert some people. So you come into the shop and here's the front desk. To the left over here, you have our treat bar, which we're probably going to end up having a chew bar. I'm sorry that the lighting is causing it to be dark. So basically just a whole bunch of clothing and accessories and stuff like that that the customers can purchase. Got our toys here. So that's that. We allow the customers to choose a bow or a bow tie free of charge for each groom. We do sell these on our website, by the way. This is the local Pet Gazette, just where people can submit their pictures and stuff like that. We do a monthly article. Gives us a little bit of exposure for free, but it is a little bit of work doing a different article each month. Right here is an organizer for us to make sure that we keep track of all the collars and leashes that the customers come in with. So it's a nice little thing that we found on Pinterest, of course. And we're gonna walk this way real quick. We'll be right back, which is there. Here's all the cages. Again, my wife found this on Pinterest, I believe, right?
No, just looking around on the internet.
Okay, so she found this. We basically put the dog's name and things like that in there in case they have any allergies or special instructions. It might be a little too dark in here, but this is actually a space for daycare. It's huge, but right now it's not being utilized because we don't have enough customers for the daycare at this time. So it is a place for Riker. You are stealing the show, buddy. Anyway, so this is a place where Riker just kind of chills out during the day while Giselle works. Eventually it will be used for boarding and daycare. Sorry that was so loud. You have the stereo here. This is Elizabeth's station. We have a nice little area out here in case the dog needs to go to the bathroom real quick. We just let them out. We have two big bathtubs right here. And this is where our employee Kayla works. She's learning to be a groomer. She's doing really awesome. It's me in the mirror. We have our X-Power dryer that we just had to purchase. Riker, chill, dude. Chill. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Don't be mad at me. I gotta take this. Thank you. Thanks, Riker. Okay. So the X-Power dryer, I had a question. If anybody uses this, what your thoughts? This is the problem with going live with him. Go ahead, push it and make tons of noise. If any of you guys use the X-Power that you're not really happy with, we just purchased it probably a month ago for $500 something, and my wife is not ecstatic about it. It does the job as it's not as hot as the one that we used to have. So, yeah. So that's our shop. And we had a very slow Saturday today, unfortunately, but it worked out. So, again, I apologize for my son who decided to All right, you're okay. Get up. All right, back to the actual reason why we are here. Please make sure that you guys, let me definitely put the 4G on here so we don't have any interruptions. Definitely go ahead and make sure that you guys share the video to any of your grooming friends. We would appreciate it. And I'm gonna let Giselle take over the rest of the show. And the last thing is, if you guys have any questions or comments or anything like that, first off, be nice. Giselle's very, very nervous right now.
Nervous, and I'm still learning as well. I'm just throwing out some tips that I've learned along the way.
Hi, Megan. Just make sure that you guys go ahead and ask the questions and comments or anything like that that you would like me to ask Giselle, and I will go ahead and forward it on to her. And we'll just try to be loud because our son is making a mockery of our video right now.
Yes,
so,
he is.
all right.
Life with kids. All right, so we are going to focus on clean feet. I did this whole half of her body just kind of fast before we started. And we're going to focus on doing the bracelets. Please keep in consideration my girl, we've been out of town for 8 weeks, and she has not been groomed for 8 weeks. So she has a lot of hair, and she had some fun chewing on her front legs. So I'm going to try to do the best I can with the palms. They're not that bad, but there's going to be some gouges here and there you'll see from her chewing. She is only 18 months, so she is still a puppy, and she's going through lots of puppy stages. She is always keeping me on my toes. Alright, so I'm going to start off with the clean feet, which most poodles get. And a lot of people question where to actually shave up to. I use my Bravera, and she is a show dog, so I use a 30 or sometimes a 40 in areas on her feet. I would not suggest that if you're just grooming for pet. Then I would do a 10. Today I am going to do a 40 just because that's what she's used to getting, and it makes a huge difference for me with the upkeep because it lasts longer. So anyways, I'm going to use my Bravera on the 30 blade. I highly recommend this if you don't have it. It's great. You don't cut dogs with it, and it's amazing. I'm going to start off with a pad. That's what I always like to do, is pads first. So how I measure my line, or kind of get it to the right height, is I start off by doing this back pad part here first. And I go up. And I always go against the grain. I go up to about right, maybe a little bit more, right where the beginning of the foot starts. So you can kind of tell there's, like, I guess you can say there's a little indent when you go down. There's an indent where the foot gets a little bit bigger. That's my line. I always start at the back because it's always easier to get your line started. So I start there. I finish off the rest of the pad.
Hi, Leah. Thanks for joining us.
So I shave out the pad with the 30. Just normal for every dog. I mean, most groomers always do the pads on every dog. I'm just kind of getting the hair out of here. And I always kind of dig in because I can with the Bravera, and it's a 30 blade, so it's not too bad. But if I was using a 30 blade on a clipper, I would not suggest digging in. So I go around.
Hi, Lee from Michigan. Thanks for joining us. Remember, guys, if you have groomer friends that you think could benefit from this in any way, please share the video.
So the starting of my line, I got a straight line going on. Ugh, sorry, it goes down a lot. Straight line starting right at the beginning of the foot. And then since I started at the back, let me give her a break for a minute. Since I started at the back, I'm going to follow the line all the way around. So I'll go around. And I gotta switch sides.
Gotcha.
Oh, you can sit there.
Go ahead.
No, go in the front. Sorry, guys. Bear with us. So I follow that line around.
Hi, mother-in-law. Is that your mom?
Hi. So I'm following that line around, and I'll go back in the back here and match it up. So there is the beginning of my line on how far I'm going to shave up. It works really well, like I said, starting from the back and following it around. So I'm going to go ahead and shave the rest of the foot.
Hi, Aunt Sherry. Switch.
And, oh, you can't switch.
Okay, well, I'll come this way real quick.
There you go. So I'm going to shave around. I always stick my finger in between this little, I don't know, flap, I guess you can call it, in between the toes. Stick my finger and push up so I can get the hair in between the toes. It works really well because
Where do you push up on?
There's a flap in here. It's a flap underneath, I mean in between the toes, so I put my finger in there.
Okay.
And that's what I push up on.
And it spreads it out?
It spreads it out so I can get the hair that's in between the toes, which is really hard to get. And I go around.
Megan says you're doing great.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot since I'm pretty nervous. And then I go to the next one. And I always kind of grab with my two fingers the little hairs around the nail, because that's hard to get as well. Just kind of going around the nails here. I see a lot of groomers struggle with getting around the nails. And it is hard. It's really got to play with it to see what works for you to get that hair. I am using the 30, so it does help, but I'm constantly pulling up the hair with my fingernails. And I'm sure there's other techniques out there that people use and that I'm not aware of, but this works well for me.
Well, that's the thing. You know, we're part of all these grooming sites and stuff like that, and everyone has their own technique, and, you know, I think as far as bashing and stuff like that goes for why did you do this or why did you do that, it's a learning process, you know. Those of you guys know that I've been a teacher for a long time. I have a different teaching style than a lot of other teachers, and as long as the kids learn, then that's what matters. And as long as the dogs are safe and the job gets done well, then it really doesn't matter. But it's a whole learning process, and everyone's always learning. You should always strive for perfection. So,
absolutely.
Lisa is saying that this is very helpful. I needed some good tips on grooming the feet. Thank you.
Oh, good. I'm glad I could help someone.
And Megan wants to know, do you cut the nails before or after you personally do the feet?
It depends. Today I did cut her nails before, just because it's been a week since they've been done. I prefer to do them after, though, because the hair on the feet, well, hers was specifically so long, because like I said, we were gone, and it's hard to see the nails. So it's hard to see, just as much as I could see with it being shaved. It's easier, I think. Some people do the nails before, and, yeah, I guess it's just based on your opinion and what you like, but I prefer after.
Oh,
so
this guy's ready for bed soon.
Just gonna go over my foot a little bit more because I can see little areas that need it. So there is my clean foot. This is the back right foot. So this one isn't the hard one. I always say the left back foot is the hardest. So
Why
there it is.
Why is that?
It's the hardest for people that are right-handed, actually. People that are left-handed, this side's hard. It's just hard in how you have to hold your clippers and the way you have to kind of maneuver your body, and it can be a pain in the butt sometimes.
So maybe the back right is the hardest for left-handed groomers?
Yeah, exactly. That's
okay.
What I just said.
All right. Sorry, I was making sure our son didn't kill himself over here.
Oh, jeez. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna show you guys how I do my back hawks and the back bracelets.
Sammy says hi. Okay, and Megan said thank you for your help. Okay.
Absolutely. So she is a show dog, and I understand. She is a show dog, and I understand that. Oh, right, good.
Hold this real quick, and I'll pick them up, and then I'll hold it.
I understand that we are just pet groomers, but there's a lot of things that we do on our show dogs that can really help your pet dogs look better. And I believe in the bracelets being kind of proportioned correctly. It makes a big difference. I see a lot of groomers that kind of wing it, and their palms become about down here. Can they see? They kind of shave them really low, and it's too low, and it looks a little funny. So I see that often, and people don't know where to start the line. So when I shaved her today, I go at an angle, as you can see where I shaved her, and I shave a V, a very minimal V, which needs to be a little bit better. Shave a V right here. It just helps get those. Oh, I shaved a little bit low there, you can see it. But anyway, so I shave a V here, and it kind of brings it down, and it looks nice. Just a little tip. I mean, it's like 2 seconds, and I think it helps make your palms look a lot cleaner. And then there's the hawk. Come around here. There's the hawk bone right here. So everybody says about an inch. So I am about 1 inch from the hawk bone. So you just go about an inch above it, and that's where you make your V. I start from the top and then work my way down on a nice, not a V, but a nice angle that I like. So let me clean this up a little bit more.
Remember, if you guys have any questions while you're watching this, please ask, because I can relay the question to Jazair.
Okay, so I'm going to start by fluffing this out. I always start, sorry, she holds her feet like that when she's lazy, or not lazy, I'm sorry, tired from being groomed on the table. Alright, so I brushed it out real nice, no mats or little pin knots or anything in there. I'm going to be using my super curves. These are the rainbow ones. These were our original ones, but we have the super curves in blue now on our website. They're loyalty pet products. That's what I love to use for any of my round palms, tail, rosettes, and everything. So I'm going to start off by doing the bottom. I hold her foot up, brush this all down, and I'll hold the top of her foot. Brush it all down, and I use my curves for a straight line, actually. I go ahead and start scissoring to make it match the part where I shaved. So I do a straight line. It's hard to see at this angle.
Do you need me to get out of the way?
No. I just have to work with it.
I'll switch real quick.
Oh, you can't. You have to stay over here.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. He's learning. You have to stay over here, otherwise I can't see what I'm doing. So I brush it down. I comb a lot, and I keep going over it. So I got a nice straight line, as you can see, and then that's the front. So then I work my way to the side and make it straight there. Oh, relax. You're fine. Sorry, guys.
Riker wants to play with scissors.
I go all the way around.
Yeah, it's time for a nap.
Sorry, guys. So I go all the way around the foot. And it's basically the same thing that I did with shaving. I'll keep going around where I shaved up, and earlier when I shaved, I kept following that line around. So that's what I'm doing with the bottom of her palm or bracelet. I keep going around until I reach the other end, which I will show you guys in a minute when Ryan comes back. And then that's when I will start doing some other things. So hold on 1 minute. You can see she had some fun with palms. chewing it, but she's just a puppy, so she's very fun. Right, Ellie? Miss Ellie girl? She's like, oh, really, Mom? I have to be on camera? Just waiting for Ryan. Here's my overgrown 8-week coat. Slowly getting it back to where it was. Which is another thing. When you go 8 weeks without scissoring, the hair is just not as easy to scissor. So it makes a difference too. Alright, Ryan's back. So I have my help back. Alright. So I'm going to continue going around. Are you showing her palm? Show her palm.
Well, they want to know how old Ellie is.
Ellie is 18 months. She is still in puppy mode. So I'm going to go around matching up my line from the front and the back. And like I said, I do a straight line, but I do use the tips of my curves. And these are the super curves, so they do have a big curve to them compared to the normal ones. So as you can see, I got a pretty nice line there. And it's pretty lined up. Let's see, there's some hair. There's always going to be hair that you miss, and you have to keep going over it. It's like never ending with a poodle. You brush it one way and it looks funny, you brush it the other way and it's perfect. So I continue to go around. I got a pretty straight line going on. Alright, so this is the biggest step that makes your rosettes, or I'm sorry, not rosettes, bracelets round. My mom taught me this and it saved my life when it came to doing the bracelets. Alright, so I comb everything down. You can see it's a little bit uneven, so I'm going to do that. I have to fix little areas. Alright, so I brush it all down and hold the the foot like this. And what I do is I bend the foot back and to where it's kind of I don't know how to say it. It's bent back. So I go over to where I shave, and you can see where the hair is sticking. So I go over that, make that nice and straight. And then I'm gonna brush it out again with the comb. The foot back, I take my curves and I kind of lean on, I put my fingers on the foot and lean into it a little bit, and then I start to cut with my curve. And I just cut a straight line. My hands on her foot. My 2 fingers are always on her foot. So it kind of steadies me. And I'm letting the curve do its job rather than me making it nice round. I let the curve do it. So as you can see, I'll go back over a little bit better. I do put the foot down a lot and go back over because you will see things you missed. So just doing that started off the curve. That's just in the front here, not the sides yet. So I let the curve do its work, and it gave me a nice bevel, is what we call it. So I go to the side, and I do the same thing. And now I'm resting on my hand. So I have my fingers on my hand, and I'm resting my curves. And just letting it do its work. And you can see I have the start of my bevel there. And I will go over it as the foot's sitting down just to get it a little bit more how I like it. Now I will go to the side, and side's a little bit more tricky, you gotta go to the back. But I will do the same thing, resting my hand on her foot and letting the curve do the work for me. And now go down. We got a nice bevel going on. I do go over it, like I said, when her foot's down, just to neaten a few things up. But that is the starting of a nice round palm. right. And I got the front and the sides done. I will go back over them later as I work my way around to the top. From the back, we do something completely different. You want to come around? Thank you. So from the back, comb my hair down, and I pick her foot up. You can see all my little missed areas. I'm going to use my straights real quick because they're here. Alright. Oh, I am going to use my straights for this too. What am I thinking? See where I missed. Okay, so I use straights for the back of the foot. And what I do is I comb it down. And then I keep her foot kind of bent, just normal. I mean, I just kind of pick up her foot is what I do. And this pad right here, I bend it all the way out so where she can't move the foot anymore. It's as far as it goes. And what I do is I rest my hand on the back of her pad here, this last pad. So I rest my hand on that, and I take my scissors straight from the pad, straight up, comes off. So all this hair right here is going to come off. So I, like I said, rest it, and I start chopping straight across.
You know there's no T in the word across, right?
Oh, did I say across? Oh, I never usually do, but sorry guys. Teacher husband, you know. So that gives me, so we'll go over it again. That gives me a nice curve in, or I'm sorry, straight line in the back. You can see a straight line right here going across. So that helps kind of bring the foot up, and then when I fluff this out, she did chew off her hock here, so excuse that. You pull or you comb the hair up, and in the show ring we hairspray this, but when you comb the hair up and you have this nice straight line, I will take my curves, my super curves, and just lightly go over the hock. Just lightly, because it's supposed to have a lot of hair there. Go over it this way. Try to blend in that chopped off part that she chewed. And I'll go over it again.
Megan wants to know what part of the palms are least favorite to groom.
This part. I think. No, actually when we get to the front, I think that's a lot harder to make it nice and round. So I kind of made it nice and round in the back here. So we got a nice round on the bottom anyways, and a little bit on the back here. So what I do in the front and on the sides is I comb it all out, and I use my super curves and just make it nice and round. Just got a lot of coat, so just go around.
Am I in your way?
No. You can see how this isn't straight. Let's see. I'll get some of the choppy marks out of there too.
So I guess a question that is in my brain that might be on the brain of like new groomers is when you are scissoring down and you see like those different levels of hair.
Yes.
You just like you're fixing right now.
Yeah, I just keep going over it.
How do you make sure that you don't cut too much hair to even it out?
You know, I scissor pretty fast. I kind of just I don't know how to explain it, but when you've been grooming for a while, you kind of, you know, I scissor pretty fast because I'm pretty confident in scissoring her. But I don't know, you just kind of, I don't know how to explain it. I guess other groomers would just understand, like, you get used to your scissors, you get used to how the palms.
What is something you can tell a new groomer, like, to kind of calm them when they're cutting the palms and, like, they have the different levels, they don't want to cut too much fur?
Go slow. so grooming is an art.
Oh, Elizabeth said keeping your hand level.
Yeah, that's true too. Because as you can see, I'm moving my thumb only. Not going like this with all my fingers. I'm only moving my thumb. So that does help. But you have to go slow as a groomer. You really do. And you have to have an eye, because grooming is an art. So you really have to have an eye for what you're going for. And without that, if you're not, if you can't see things without them being done, it does become hard to be a groomer. Because, you gotta picture what you want from your dog, what you want, and just keep messing with it and go slow. Eventually, you'll get to see some things. I suggest looking at a lot of pictures. I've learned a lot from pictures. I do everything from pictures, mostly, and it helps a lot.
I apologize for the video being like in and out, and it keeps saying that the connection is weak, so I'm going to be calling AT&T after this video because I'm on 4G. There's no reason for the connection to be weak at all. So, our apologies. Okay.
So, as you can see, we're kind of getting a nice round palm. I'm going to keep going over it because it's still big. I only did the right side over here and the front and back, so I have to go around and finish up this side.
Megan wants to know, is it true that the fluffier the better, or does it have to be within certain lengths for this?
It's not true the fluffier or the better, because when you're showing, please know this is a show dog. I do show, so I'm just keeping it. When you're showing, you don't want your back palms touching each other. So when she's running, her back palms are gonna touch, and it's hard to see the dog's movement when they're moving because their back palms are touching its hair. So it gives a different look when they're touching. So in the inside, you see a lot of people with oblong palms, and they always appear to be round on the side, and in the back, they're more oblong because, like I said, if you have them round, then both palms are going to be touching, and it just looks weird.
It's funny because your mom said, shouldn't the bracelets oval shaped in the front and round on the side?
Yes, but exactly.
Yeah.
Oval shaped in the front and round on the side.
Yes.
That's exactly what I was just saying. So yes. So I have a nice round palm here, but she needs a lot of hair taken off the side.
Leah, to answer your question, yeah, we keep all of our videos on our Facebook page, so anyone can watch the quote-unquote live video at any time. So yeah, that's not a problem.
So I'm going over the side, taking off quite a bit, because I do want more of a oblong shape. And this is, pet grooming as well, that I'm explaining kind of too, because you do want to do you want to incorporate some of the show grooming into your pet grooms, because it makes them look better. And the whole point of show grooming is to make the dog look better. So if you're incorporating some of the show tips into your pet grooms, they will turn out looking better, because that's the whole point. You're making dog, if dog's got a long back, you can leave a little bit of hair, take off a little bit more hair on the front of the chest. And there's just many things that really help look better. So just gonna keep going over. You continuously scissor, of course. We go to this side. You can come over to the back.
Okay.
Sorry guys, we're maneuvering here. Switch. Round that
That's a
off
good feel.
here. And now we'll go over here. Just kind of keep scissoring until you get the look you want. Combing. Taking off a little more, because her back palms are going to touch when she's running.
When's your next dog show?
3 weeks. 3 weeks in Lakeland. And then we won't be showing for a while.
Elizabeth said this is the ultimate grooming video, up close and personal.
So I kind of got a nice round palm going on. And it's a little bit oblong on the back. Oh, from the video it looks round. But it is more oblong when you're in person. The video just doesn't do justice.
You need me to go from the side so they can see?
No, because that side it's nice and round. Okay.
So I got to ask this question because you said it, and I know it is.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever get to the point, and maybe groomers that are watching, you guys can answer this as well, but do you ever get to the point where, like, you probably are done, but you're like, oh, let me go ahead and scissor some more? Kind of like an artist, if they're doing a painting, they're like, oh, let me add some more, and then they end up maybe screwing it up because they did too much. Does that ever happen to you?
That happens a lot to me, and it happens a lot to a dog that is completely done.
And you have time.
And, you know, I look at the dog in the cage and like, darn, he shook his head. Now I gotta fix that. I go in there with my scissors. I'm a cage groomer. And I fix it, and then, darn, I took too much off. So then I gotta pull the dog back out and fix it. So I nitpick a lot. So, all right, I gotta pull that.
Sammy said you guys should do more videos because she's learning a lot.
Good, I'm glad. I'm glad I'm explaining it pretty good, I guess.
Thanks, Sammy. She almost backed out at the last second because she got really nervous. She wants everyone to know she's not a professional groomer, but, you know,
I'm getting there. I'm learning. You're always learning, and I'm getting better, as everybody does, but I'm not at all a professional just yet. We'll be doing our first grooming competition this year in Orlando at Fun in the Sun. We're just fixing that out straight. So anyways, that'll be our first time with the competition. I'll be using her. Hopefully she doesn't chew any more hair off. Otherwise that wasn't too pretty. That's our palm. And as you can see, it's pretty nice and round, so I can keep going over it.
You need to look in the video?
No, I need to go behind the camera.
Switch.
Alright. So, show them the side view, which this can be fluffed up a little bit more. And we always hairspray that in the show ring. But that is the just, keep your foot straight, there you go, of the palm. That's the back palm. Like I said, I shave at an angle. Her other one's not done, so don't look at that. I shave on an angle. I shave up until the beginning.
Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
Shave up to the beginning of the foot and go all the way around. You see the hairs. Try to straighten up my line there. I shave all the way around, and that's line for how far you need to go up in your foot. And there you have it. There is a back palm. So, and I showed you guys how to shave the foot.
Like she said before, for any of you guys who missed it, Ellie's been chewing this.
Yes.
Ellie
so that should have more hair on it.
Ellie chews a lot of things. She's just still a little puppy, so I mean, God forbid, you know, we let her play out for like 5 minutes and she'll have a stick in her fur that we don't see. And then, you know, she's doing for 2 minutes straight, and it's...
She chews the hair and any little hitchhikers or anything out of her hair. So if she has one hitchhiker in her, she will chew it out completely with the hair. And it's definitely a challenge because there's some things when she's got a lot of coat you don't see, you know, and it hides.
Megan wants to know, do you use human hairspray or special hairspray?
I use both. I do use human hairspray from Sally's when I spray her up and when I spray the hawks. And I also do use Chris Christensen hairspray like that. It just depends on if I feel like ordering it or if I have enough time to order the hairspray, you know. I do use a mix of both.
As far as the battery goes, we have probably 20, maybe 25 minutes left of the battery, So is there anything that you were going to show them today?
I will show them in a different video how to do the front palms, because they are completely different from the backs. And we will do that on another day when we get some time, since it's a lot of time to do each part of the dog. I mean, when I groom her the day before the show, it takes me about 6 hours blow drying and scissoring and everything, and then we do it again the next day. So I will show you the front palms another day, so you can see it's nicely overgrown. And so I'll leave this one out like that until on video. If you guys have any questions now for shaving the foot or the back bracelet, let me know. Ask me now.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and stay live for a couple minutes if you guys have any questions. What's up, Jackson? It's you. And then Megan wants to know, are there any ingredients to stay away from?
Ingredients.
And spray.
Not that I will, to be honest with you.
And that was not done.
It was done a while.
And then this one was just done on video.
Still, you can keep going over it.
So if you guys have questions, and I'm telling you right now, Giselle's not done with this. She's not done with this back palm. But this is for video purposes. She'll probably be working on this palm for another 10 minutes, probably.
Oh, probably.
I mean, a lot of you groomers are, but so you still see the roundness that she was able to do in the video time that we have been recording. Like I said, we'll stay live for a couple minutes. We would appreciate your feedback. If there's anything that you want her to show you in your future, definitely. We have 2 groomers in the shop, so you know, if Giselle doesn't do it, Elizabeth would probably want to do something, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
and,
definitely. On the breed.
Is there anything you want to tell any groomers out there that are either experienced or learning for the first time?
I would say take in as much knowledge from many different people. A lot of different tips, and some of them go against each other. And you got to try all the tips out and see what works for you. I've learned a lot from pet groomers as well as show groomers, and I incorporated it into arms. It helps with pictures online, and I mean, you just do as much research and reading as possible on the breed. Of course, this is because I do show, but as a pet groomer, you want to incorporate some of the little tips that show groomers use, because it helps the dog look better. That is the biggest thing I can say. I mean, a lot of people say, I'm just a pet groomer. I just do pet grooms. Well, I do pet grooms too. And of course we do shakedowns and short faces and whatever, you know, the people want. But there's certain dogs that come in and they're like, oh, you know, like I have my dog with longer legs. And if you know your lines, it really makes look better and really make those palms look better. It makes a huge difference. Like I said, I see a lot, and they take the palms down to here, so there's anger and it's a little goofy. And you know, they're learning, and they just have to look at pictures and do a little bit more research, and then they'll get to where they need to be. I think that's the biggest thing.
Well, it's just like when you go on the grooming sites and stuff, and it posts pictures of like the Asian fusion faces and stuff.
Yes.
Some look amazing, and then others you're like, oh, I would never want my own dog to look like that.
Yeah, it's true.
But,
I mean, we're all learning.
But everyone has their niche. You know, everyone's like, you might be amazing at the tail, and then you might be terrible at faces.
Yeah.
So then you have to ask the people that you are like kind of following that are doing really well at faces, ask them for help. I mean, that's why we got into this business, because we want the grooming industry to thrive, and it's a really you know, booming industry, and even when times are tough, like in the 2000 crash and 2000 crash, whatever, there were actually a whole bunch of videos that people were still getting their dogs groomed. I mean, So
yeah, you have to. I mean, you know, it's abuse not to about it. And, you know, as we go through it, we see the dogs that are very mad, and we see the dogs that are kept up, you know. But if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask me, and I will answer them as best as I can. Otherwise, we'll be, I guess, for a couple minutes.
what?
I said about ready to go. And
oh, we're getting ready to wrap this up.
Yeah.
So two things. I do have to plug the products, obviously, to help out us a little bit. So the super curves that Jazair was using, they do not come in rainbow anymore. They are on the website, and they are blue. You can actually see it if you look at blue curves. There's an option for super curves, and these are ours. I'm just letting you know. It's just not focusing.
Oh, no, it's not focusing at all.
All right, well, that's our logo right there.
There's some hair on there, too.
So anyway, and then also on Monday, right?
Oh, yes. I'm wearing my
This is
apron.
our Loyalty Pet Products. It's a very light, waterproof apron.
Lightweight. Totally waterproof. It's like a backing on the back.
So some of the smocks and stuff, I've seen Jazair just be absolutely drenched. She and Kayla, our bather, and Elizabeth, they've been using this in the shop, and they like it just because of how light it is, and it's just kind of, it's cooler and still keeps you dry and keeps all the hair off. This, by the way, all the hair that you see on Jazair
yes.
was before she put the smock on.
I'm just wearing a nurse's, not a smock, what do they call them?
Yeah, it's a smock.
No, it's not a smock.
Well, it's not a nurse's outfit.
Yeah, it is. It's a nursing, oh my gosh, I can't think of the name of them.
Okay.
Anyways, it's for nurses, so it doesn't keep the hair off, but I love it because it's really cute.
Oh, jeez. And that's what it's all about, I guess.
Yep.
So anyways, the aprons are actually going to be delivered on Monday. We're only going to have 50 as of right now because I want to see how well they sell. We're probably only going to sell for just $7 on the website. So if you're interested in those, just let me know. And then we're also going to be giving those away to our loyal customers. Probably the first next 10 customers that order from us on our website will get a free apron. You guys know how we like to give away free stuff. So, oh, there you go. Leah said scrub. It's a nurse's scrub.
I knew it wasn't a smock.
Oh.
Thank you. Lisa, you said?
Leah.
Oh, Leah. Thank you, Leah.
So
I could not think of the name. Oh, I hate when that happens.
Well, thank you guys very much. We appreciate it. And if you did not get a chance to watch this live, it's okay. You guys can watch the replay all the way, and you can still comment on the video. If you ask a question and we don't answer it in a timely manner, sometimes with the live videos it is hard to see the comments because sometimes they make you watch the entire video again to see the comments. Please just message us if you have a question or a video that you would like us to do, and we would gladly respond to you and get back to you as soon as possible. So thank you very much. I know a lot of you guys are grooming right now. So it was just, this is my last Saturday that I will have free to actually videotape because I start teaching and I have cross-country meets on Saturday mornings for my team. So so we took advantage of it. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, my lovely wife, Jazair.
Bye, Ellie.
Thank you,
for
Ellie.
watching, guys.
And
Riker, that is sleeping
Riker's
in his crib.
sleeping in his crib. And thank you guys very much. So, Loyal Pet Products.
And we are out.
We're out.
Bye,
See ya.
guys.